My name is Marcel Carney, and this is my story. June the 11th, 23. A little small town of Toxey, Alabama. Toxey. It was just kind of a spot in the road, just down a country road. My father's name was Johnson Allen. My mother's name was Ona Allen. O-N-A was her name. Pretty name. I have one brother and one sister, Horace Allen and Owen Allen. I have 2 children. And Gus Carney was our oldest son, and he's deceased now. And my daughter is Joselle Carney, and she lives here in Muscle Shoals, and she had 6 children herself, 5 girls and 1 boy. Oh, my husband's name was John Russell Carney. He had a big family. I think his mother had about 12 children. And I met him there in Needham, Alabama, is where we lived at that time. My dad was a school teacher, and we lived in a teacherage, a place where the teachers could live. And the way I met him was, well, first I saw him just passing. They would be hauling logs or doing that kind of work, and he would be on this truck, and we kind of would wave at each other, and we kind of began to know each other just from passing. And then after that, somehow we got to meet in that little town. I think at church, maybe. I'm not for sure just when we first met, but that was the beginning of our knowing each other. We got to liking each other real well, and it's a little story behind that. He would walk 6 miles to come to see me. We married young. We dated a while, and he wanted to get married, so we did. And I was just 16 years old at that time. We got married in 39, and we had our children just right straight along. For the last years, he was worked with TVA our latter years, and he worked up to civil engineer with TVA. I was just a homemaker. Just worked at home. I stayed busy, fixing lunches and dinners and suppers for the workers. He worked out in the field, with surveying. Tracy, one of my granddaughters, worked with him, and most all of Joe's children helped some. And I always had food cooked and ready and waiting for them to eat when they come in for lunch, and I like to visit the sick. I would always have time to visit the sick people and carry food and things like that. I really enjoyed it. And we would go for walks in the mall. My husband and I would. We would go to the mall and walk. He would walk several rounds, and I'd make 2 or 3. Oh, I miss him very, very much. He was a very kind person, very generous, very good worker in the church, and quiet. Very, he was quiet. I was the talker, but he was quiet, but he did a lot of good things and worked. He was treasurer of the church, taking care of the money and stuff like that. And he's very faithful to help people. Once we bought a new car, and he said, "Now, honey," he says, "this car's not just for us." He said, "This car is to help take people to church." And we had an opportunity to take so many people to church, maybe widow women and their grandchildren, and little children that needed a way to church, had nobody to ever take them anywhere. So really, that was foretold. I mean, it was really true. we enjoyed that. Things would be different, you know, if he was around now, but we miss him so much, and the children all remember him so well. He was good to every one of them. Joe's six children right here around us, and he helped them. Right now at 93, I do well just to make it and do a few little things here in the house. Not much at all, but back in those days, earlier days, I would make beautiful quilts. Tracy's got one right now. I don't know if she showed it to you or not, but anyway, I did quilts. I did cooking all the time, pies, cakes, pots of this and that, just things in the house mostly. I think the greatest thing that I would be thankful for was that I accepted Christ at a young age. And all my life, I don't mean that I've been perfect or anything, but I never went back on my beliefs, and that's kept me going. I've just achieved that, and I want to give it to others. Now, that's about the best thing I know, and I always want to be a good granny and a good mother, and achieve that with honors. And I'm just thankful for my families, all of them, the children and the grandchildren. And as I was reading this little book that I had, you know, it was sort of a diary. I just been reading it this week to see what all was in it. I was always saying something writing something in that book about wanting to see all of my children to know the Lord, you know, and to be able for us to meet again, you know, someday. So I think what I would really say to my children would be to give their hearts to the Lord as soon as they would and could. Just, you know, not wait, just go ahead and be ready to go, and we'd all meet together one day in heaven.